Let's see. This is up. I do think we actually are live. It looks good. Let's see. It's 12:29, and I'm going to be going live. Well, I actually am live, so that was kind of a weird way to start this off. In about a minute, I'll get started. It is 12:29 now, and I usually do my timeout Tuesdays at 12:30 on the button. So I'll give about another couple of seconds to get started. This will be pretty quick today. I've got three quick things to discuss. And let's see, as soon as the clock ticks, all right, here we go. So it is Timeout Tuesday. All right, here we go. Okay, so it is Timeout Tuesday. It's episode 42. That's right. So 42 weeks now we've been meeting together at around 12:30. And as many of you know, the number 42 is a number that I actually talk about a lot. I mention that number pretty often in classes with the kids and sometimes with the adults as well. It's not the number on somebody's jersey. It's not, I didn't run 42 miles in 42 minutes. I didn't win 42 trophies when I was 42 years old. It has nothing to do with anything like that. The number 42 actually comes from a book. Actually, this book right here, I'll show it to you. This is the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I actually completely violated the don't judge a book by its cover rule back in, I guess, the early 1980s. On my way home from Penn Station, I was a teenager. I needed something to read. I had to rush into a bookstore. The book cover caught my attention, so I grabbed it. And it was just one of those like karma kind of things because it turned out to be one of the funniest books I ever read. I've read it a million times. You can see how it's all taped together and, all the pages are yellowed and destroyed. But in any case, there are three lessons that, you can get from anything, really. If you read anything, you can derive a lesson from it. And I'm going to go over three lessons that I think you can derive from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So, the number 42 has a special place in this book. In the book, and this is not going to be much of a spoiler alert for anybody that hasn't read it yet, but in the book, the people are given an opportunity to ask a supercomputer one question. And so they ponder this question and they collectively come up with this question that they're going to ask this supercomputer. And the question is, what is the answer to life, the universe, and everything? So they hand that off to the computer chugs away at it, and when the computer's ready to reveal its answer, there's much pomp and circumstance, everybody's been long awaiting this answer, they gather, and then the computer reveals that the answer to life, the universe, and everything is 42. And the people are perplexed, they look at one another, they don't know what to make of that, and so they ask the supercomputer, we don't understand. What does that mean, 42? What are we supposed to do with that information? And the supercomputer said, well, that's the answer. The problem is that you may not understand the question that you were asking. And I think that's a really good life lesson. I think the lesson that you can take from that is, if you're going to ask somebody a question that's going to try to benefit you, make sure that you've got the answer, the question really well thought out so that when the other person takes the time to answer that question and give you guidance, they're going to give you guidance that you're going to be able to implement right away. Sometimes someone will walk up to me in the school, maybe they're holding a weapon, they'll say, something's wrong with this weapon. Every time I try to, do this technique with it, it falls and lands on my foot or it hits me in the head or whatever it is. And, the answer is not going to be that there's something wrong with the weapon. The answer is there's something wrong with the user. And so, when I used to do technical support for people, they would call up and they would give us all kinds of, they would call up and say there's all kinds of problems with their computer. For example, my computer keeps shutting off randomly, don't know why. And, we might send somebody down there to take a look at it. And it turns out that, maybe they were running over the power cable with their chair back and forth. So every time they went backward, the computer turned off. Every time they went forward, the computer turned back on again. And we would call that a picnic, which stood for the problems in the chair, not in the computer. So knowing the question that you're asking is really, or knowing rather the detail of that question and what you're really trying to get out of the answer is important. So that's lesson number one from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Later on in the book, there's a character, Zaphod Beeblebox, don't worry about the spelling on that. And in his case, he always carries a towel around with him. And when asked why he always carries the towel around, he says, well, when anything frightening happens, I just put the towel over my head because, as everyone knows, what you can't see can't hurt you. And obviously that is such an utterly preposterous concept that the takeaway that I got from that, even when I was back as a teenager, was that, you really have two options. You have fight or flight, but hiding is really not going to necessarily be a great answer. And that's really something that we, even teach our students right now, which is, there's going to be scary things that are going to happen to you, whether it's, in a physical environment or maybe a challenge that you're going to, try to do, do some cliff diving like my son just did this past weekend or something like that. You have to embrace that challenge, but you really can't hide from it because you're not going to really achieve anything by hiding from it, and you might actually wind up in much worse situation. So, we in the school we have a phrase that I like using called Josei Senjo, and Josei Senjo means to be ever present on the battlefield. Be on that battlefield. If there's something scary happening and you have no choice but to confront it with everything you've got, confront it with everything you know, do the best you can to overcome that challenge. So anyway, that's 2 out of my 3 lessons that you can derive from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy on my 42nd episode of Time Out Tuesday. Now, the third one is a little bit of a trick because I really wanted to kind of share this with you in Time Out Tuesday, so it may or may not really actually have anything to do with the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to come in a little bit close here. I'm going to flip on a couple of graphics for you. Here we go. All right. So I hope you can see that. I also worked really long and hard on this really, really cool animation. I think you're really going to like it. See what you think. Ready? Pretty cool, right? Whoa, there it goes. Whoa. Hey, listen, we were nominated for the Best Dojo on Long Island. We're really excited. It's the first year that we're competing in this in the martial arts category. We're really asking that everybody, take some time out of your day. It'll take you 2 minutes. Log on to that URL. You can vote with every email address you have. You can vote once a day. If you have multiple computers, you can vote for multiple computers. We really would love to win this year. We're up against about 20 other schools on Long Island, so we definitely need your help. Please log on. It's http://bit.ly/vote Millennium. And then just navigate to the sports and activity section. In there, it's under martial arts. You can vote every single day. We really ask you to do that between now and December. Let's do this together. We would really appreciate it. We are the best on Long Island. Help us out with this. I hope everyone makes it a really great day today. The weather's beautiful, beautiful October day. We just finished most of our testing. We have a couple of days of testing left for some of our brown belts and a couple of people that are testing later this week. We had a great showing, as we always do. We were real excited with the proficiency that everybody demonstrated during their tests. And we're looking forward to an awesome October. We have a parent night out coming up this weekend. We've got our enormous Halloween party that we do every year coming up at the end of the month. So like always, October is going to be a great month at the dojo. Tell all your friends. Hey, in case I didn't mention it, vote right there. Vote. See you later. Peace.